Thank you, Huel, for sponsoring today's video.
In an ideal world, we'd all have time to select, buy, prep, and cook our meals with whole foods and have the knowledge to ensure we're getting the complete nutrition we need. But we know this is not always possible. That's where Huel comes in. Huel, human plus fuel, is nutritionally complete food. Every meal contains a balance of protein, carbs, essential fats, fiber, and 27 essential vitamins and minerals, which means you can get all you need in less time. It makes the perfect lunch for a busy day at work or a quick dinner before you settle in to enjoy your evening. Our favorite was the yellow coconut curry. It had a great curry flavor that wasn't too strong and it was very filling. All you do is add boiling water or pop it in the microwave, and it's cooked in 5 minutes. They are 100% vegan, high in protein, and gluten-free. They are made with high-quality, real ingredients like tomato, garlic, quinoa, rice, and coriander.
Click the link in our description box to try Huel's Hot and Savory today. Let us know in the comments which flavors you've chosen.
The bulls are in rut right now. Let's see if we can get a reaction.
Here we go.
Yeah, the deer's confused. There's a drunk elk over on the front porch.
He's dying out in the forest over there.
He looked, you're right. Do it again, give him a rip. Bandit, what's going on? What's your mom doing, bro? He's like, I'm confused, guys. What are we doing?
We have had our RTA cabinets for almost 2 years now, and RTA stands for Ready to Assemble. We had them shipped to our house when we lived in town. We brought them up here in boxes, put them together. We have them in the kitchen, we have them in the laundry room, the bathroom. Is that it? Yeah, bathrooms, laundry room, kitchen, and I've been super happy with them. They're, with a family like ours, our kids can be pretty hard on things, and they're durable, they're easy to clean, and I love them. I love how bright they are, and I love how many we have, and I've been super happy with them.
When we had that big dog Finn, we had one of the doors open, and he slammed into the side of that thing, and I thought for sure he damaged something. And the way the tracks are built, we had no issues with it. So I can literally get behind the drawers and adjust the tracks to make sure everything is going in and out the way it should. And again, with our family, we're hard on everything. The kids are hard on everything. And we've had no issues with them at all. Rhett and I put them together over a period of a couple days, basically right here. And they went together very well. It took some work, as it should. We have this concrete, the heavy concrete countertops sitting on top of the cabinets. Again, that hasn't been a factor. If I was to do it again, I would most certainly use the RTA store, where we got them from rtastore.com. And I would do this again, because at that time, we couldn't get anybody to even give us realistic bids on doing cabinets up here. And so we were left with basically one option, or I guess two options. I could have gone and bought them from one of the big box stores, but I was really worried about quality that way. So
one of the other bonus things is that Rhett was taking a cabinetry class at school at the time, and he was able to use this as extra credit to help him with his grade. It was great.
Yeah, with all of the stuff that was going on last year, we were obviously homeschooling for a portion of that year, and his teacher, his cabinet teacher, saw his help in putting the cabinets together, and he aced that class, to say the least. So again, no complaints. Cedar uses them way more than I do. I can't think of anything I would do different if we were to do it again.
Yeah.
So
I love them.
yeah, it was a good decision.
Okay, about 3 years ago, right where we're standing is where we installed our 1,500 gallon septic tank.
And this is the septic tank that was a plastic tank that I installed myself. I did everything myself. I was required to put in at least a 1,500 gallon tank with 3 separate leach fields. And Cedar and I started doing the math, and since we've been living in the house, so for over 2 years, she thinks she has averaged somewhere between 12 and 20 loads of laundry a week.
Which is for a family of 6, and that includes, you know, sheets and towels and clothes and
Probably
basically
fairly normal. So we go through probably somewhere between 500 and 1,000 gallons of water a day, I would guess. We know in the wintertime, when we're conserving water, our 2,500 gallon tank will last us about 4 days. So anyway, we have ran a lot of water through this septic system.
So the leach field starts about down there where it's pretty green.
So it's very obvious as I mow the lawn and as I pay attention to what's going on around here, it's very obvious that the leach fields are doing their job.
Part of the reason why we had to take out so many trees right here in the front of our property is because of the leach field.
So there's 3 separate leach fields, and you can see they all kind of dead end at the fence, and the grass is very, very tall and very thick. And so one of my biggest concerns, and part of the reason why I did the traditional leach field versus using what are called turtles or tunnels, which are much faster, was because I wanted to make sure that the water got as far down the leach field as possible. And when using those turtles or those tunnels, in my experience, the water never gets to the bottom of the leach field, never has to. And so oftentimes there are wet spots in the yard or soggy points in the yard. The difference is using those turtles or those shells, I don't even know what the right name is for them, versus using the perforated pipe. It took me probably altogether close to 3 weeks, maybe even longer, to get all 3 of these leach fields installed, because I had to do them one at a time. I would get one exposed, get everything installed, get the gravel installed, get the straw over the top of it, and then backfilled. But I had to have each leach field inspected individually before I could backfill them. Using that turtle system or that shell system, it probably would take like 3 days to do the entire job. If I had to do it again, I would probably do that shell system. But seeing the grass as thick as it is confirms that the water is getting all the way down there. So if we are going through 500 gallons of water a day, it's going to the right place. It's going back into the ground. Still to this day, I have not put any enzymes in the tank. I actually may do that very soon. But it's working. A good septic system, if it has the proper enzymes in the tank, should go a very long time. Really, regardless of how much water goes through it, it should last a very, very long time. So anyway, as I mow the yard out here, it becomes more and more obvious that the septic system is working perfectly, and hopefully it will last for many, many years to come.
Originally, we had hoped that 1,000 gallons of propane was going to last us up to 3 years. But what we found with our family of 7 and the things that we do every single day, that 1,000 gallons last us about a year. And so this summer, like in July, when propane's the cheapest, we like to top off the tank and be prepared for the next year.
So in July of this year, we still had about 33% of the tank full. And that's with the backup generator, the tankless water heater, the dryer, and the stove. Those are the 4 appliances that draw propane. And my hope is, with the changes we've made to the solar system and with the new backup generator, that I would bet that over winter that backup generator uses more propane than probably anything else. So the 1,000 gallons that we thought would last 3 years comfortably gets us through a season, a full year. We do not want to be up here buying propane in the middle of winter when propane is typically the highest.
Or worry about getting a propane truck up our road.
Yeah,
either.
we couldn't. I don't think we could get a truck up here. But really, the only changes I want to make to our propane system is I'm going to relocate the tank behind the shop, where it's just I don't like looking at it.
You can have extra room for parking too over here.
Takes up a lot of space. And then if I can find a good deal on a 1,000 gallon propane tank, I may add a second tank again, just to have more propane. I don't think we can go wrong, especially if the price of propane does get very cheap, by having excess propane. The first year we filled this up, propane was 80 cents a gallon. When we had it filled up in July, we paid $1.50 a gallon. So
and that was cheap for what they were saying.
Yeah, I think it's gone up since then. But anyway, propane is the one thing I wish we didn't have to have, but the bottom line is the lifestyle that we live, like Cedar said, it simply we have to have it.
Hot showers.
Someone recently asked what would happen if we couldn't get propane, if we ran out of propane. We would have to rely exclusively on the sun to charge our batteries, which we could do. There may be a day or two in there where we may not have any electricity, but with the changes we've made to the solar system, the odds are actually pretty good we could get by without the backup generator. We would not be able to use our stove, but we have the wood burning stove, and we deliberately installed a wood burning stove where the top of that stove is hot enough that we could cook on, and then again we wouldn't have any hot water and we wouldn't have a dryer, so we'd be stringing out a clothesline. So at the end of the day, there's many people that live their lives just that way, where they don't have propane. So these are obviously first world problems, but like I said, the only change I anticipate making to our propane system is relocating the tank and possibly adding a second tank. We've now been using Starlink for probably somewhere around 6 months. Before Starlink, there was really one other option, and that was Viasat, and we were pretty open about our opinion about that particular service. But the truth is, in our location, I didn't think we would ever have the kind of upload and download speeds that we now have with Starlink. And I have no affiliation, no connection to Starlink in any way. We're simply a consumer and a customer, but it was a game changer. The wireless dish or satellite internet has been an issue for years. Very expensive. I believe we paid somewhere around $200 a month for Viasat before we got Starlink. And when I would upload a video on Sundays or whatever day it happened to be, I would typically start the video uploading about the time we would go to bed at night. So 9, 10, 11 o'clock, somewhere right in there. And usually 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, it would be finished uploading. Now there are ups and downs with the upload speeds with Starlink, but the average speed with Starlink has got to be at least 10 times faster than it was with Viasat. The other issue with Viasat is we were in a contract. As a matter of fact, we had to pay for almost a year of Viasat without even using it. We had the satellite sitting on the front of the house. I had the modem sitting in our bedroom, and I turned it off for a year. We just recently hit the 2-year mark, and I think Cedar just told me we have to send back some of the stuff, the dish or something. We have to send it back to officially be released from that contract, which we're more than happy to do. But the bottom line is with Starlink, the upfront expense of buying the dish, then there's no contract, and it's $99 a month, no matter how much you use. Viasat did have a few different options, and naturally the less you use, the cheaper it was. But with the stuff that we do between the kids and the family, we have a whole lot of stuff on the internet. Everything from phones to our Simply Safe system is on the internet, to Cedar's washer and dryer are now on Wi-Fi, which is insane. But because of all the things that we have that consume, that need the Wi-Fi and the internet, Starlink was a no-brainer for us. So we pay $100 a month for Starlink, and the only times there's little hiccups with Starlink is typically in the middle of a storm, which we also had the same issues with Viasat as well. So Anyway, Starlink seems to be getting faster. It seems to be getting better and better and better as they get out of the beta phase, and I think it's available in most areas now. So anyway, we could not be happier with Starlink. I don't have to go to town to upload videos anymore. I guess the only minor issue is if everybody's on the phone and I use Wi-Fi calling to call out, sometimes it'll drop a call now and then. But we've learned to use FaceTime audio and FaceTime just to call from, and it seems to be a little bit more consistent. So again, I never thought we would have the kind of upload and download speeds that we have, which are typically well over 100 megs. So I'm good with it. We have everything. It was beautiful. It was beautiful in the early days when I would lose cell service about 4 miles from here, and I would leave my phone in the truck, and I would simply deal with it on the way home when I was done working. But the truth is that wasn't safe, and that's really not realistic with the way we live our life. And we were not trying to escape the grid in that sense of the word anyway. So we love it. We're happy with it. We will be customers for a very, very long time, I'm sure. Today I'm gonna change the exhaust on the old first gen Dodge truck. I ordered just the basic 4-inch kit with a muffler off of the internet, and I'm gonna go ahead and slap it in. This thing blows a little bit of gray smoke. I need to adjust the valves at some point, but I'm not sure if that's it. I wonder if these turbos are undersized as it is, but I wonder if this turbo's got some issues. So I'm gonna pull that apart and just kind of inspect everything. Check the air filters, all the good stuff. If I'm going to drive this thing, I need to be able to depend on it. So the turbo's not bad, but it is undersized. I think I'm going to find an HX35 turbo to put on here and maybe some light injectors to turn this thing up a little bit. Okay, the new exhaust is completely finished and installed, and I really went out of my way to make sure it had a whole bunch of exhaust hangers in place, because I know going up and down this road, it's gonna be put to the test. The old exhaust was hanging by some, basically some baling twine, and I don't want it to have any issues. So my main concern right now is to make sure that it's not vibrating against the frame or the cross members, anything like that. So I'm going to start it up real quick and just listen to it. Okay, if I'm going to drive this truck every day, I need to know that it's dependable. It had a few issues that I wanted to get out in front of. One of them was the exhaust. The old exhaust system had broken off, and so I'd drive the truck down the road and those exhaust fumes would come back in the truck. So I put a new exhaust. I put a high flow exhaust, a 4-inch exhaust. I think the stock exhaust is 2.5 inch on this truck. I replaced the valve cover gaskets after I adjusted the valves. I really wanted to adjust the valves and see how far out they were on this first gen Cummins. They weren't bad. That was about it. That's about all I'm gonna do for now. I have a set of tires coming for it. These tires are obviously gonna be useless once it starts snowing. And then I think I'm gonna put a little lift on it. And then I need to get my toolbox, my bed tank from the 94 Dodge bolted up to this flatbed. And I need to get the winch on this truck. They don't make a winch bumper specific for this truck, so I'm gonna have to figure that out. But I basically need to get this thing up and ready to go. It looks like I sold the 94 Dodge. My nephew in Arizona had a friend that has an interest in it, and I think I'm gonna let it go. So anyway, I wanna start it up, I wanna listen to it, and it's been sitting overnight. It was a cold morning. I wanna see how hard it starts on a halfway cold morning. The truck starts better, and I thought it may have had a motor mount issue. I don't think it does. I'm gonna upgrade the turbo to basically what's on my 94 Dodge, to an HX35, and I'm gonna turn the fuel up just a little bit, but not much. I'm not interested in rolling coal, or I just want the truck to perform and run good and be dependable. I even put a muffler on this truck. I didn't straight pipe the thing all the way out the back. I wanted it a little bit quieter, but I like this truck. As I worked underneath the truck, as I looked underneath it, there's no rust. There's no rust at all, which is so crazy. The rocker panels are good. So yeah, I think I'm gonna put some effort into this truck over time. I'm not gonna go crazy and do it all at once, because I need to drive it, and the next step will be the wheels and tires.